La Reina Beats.
So yeah, about our first question, it says here that you played baseball and football in your youth. How did you go from those sports to something as radical as MMA?
Football. I got more. I played baseball when I was younger, growing up. I feel like almost everybody around here does. And then I got more serious about football as I got higher and better at it in high school. I got bigger and stronger. Um, and then when I graduated from high school, I didn't have it. I didn't go to college. I didn't go play any college sports or anything like that. Um, but I had been an athlete my whole life. I got myself in the gym, and then I lost a bunch of weight after I graduated from high school. And I got in the best shape I'd ever been in. So I was kind of looking for something to keep me busy and keep that whole athletic side of myself going. And I got into training just to kind of like, hey, here's something to do. I had no intention of ever actually competing or taking a fight, but I was like, this looks like something that I can, keep my athleticism up with and maybe learn some self-defense. And, after a little while, my coach was like, you're pretty good at this. You want to give it a shot. Why not try it? And I did. And I went in, won my first fight by knockout in the third round. And it just started me on this path of like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Great. Bueno, la pregunta fue que él ya había jugado antes béisbol y fútbol en su juventud y cómo él pasa algo tan radical como las MMA. Él dice que siempre fue un atleta, intentó con béisbol como todas las personas lo hacen, parece que es una costumbre en Estados Unidos, y luego se concentró más en fútbol. Luego de que dejó el high school, él perdió mucho peso y estuvo en la mejor condición física en la que pudo por el hecho de que estaba en el gym. Luego de eso quiso aprender algo que tuviera que ver con su defensa personal, y luego los mismos coaches le dijeron que él era bueno en eso, y su primer debut ganó en el tercer round por knockout, y ahí fue que él se dio cuenta que era lo correcto que él estaba haciendo. So moving to the next question, in addition to the competitive level that increases from going from any league to the UFC, how your life has changed, both sportingly and personally?
I'm probably more focused now than I ever have been. Now that I'm at the level that I'm at, I don't really take any days off. I keep staying training. I'm always constantly trying to stay close to my diet. I'm trying to get leaner, faster, stronger. I'm always learning new things. I still feel like I have so much out there that I haven't even learned how to do yet. As long as I've been doing this, I feel like I've only really just kind of like touched the tip of the iceberg with what kind of potential I have for it. At home, it's made my personal life a little more relaxed, I guess you could say, because now that I'm in the UFC, I'm making better money. I can actually focus more on my training. I don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs anymore while also training and trying to pursue a career and take care of my kids and be a good husband to my wife, and just maintain my house and everything else that we all have to do in life. So that's made my life a little bit easier as far as having a little more free time. But now I can work 1 job instead of 3. But it's other than that, it really hasn't changed too much. I'm still the same guy. I'm still out here doing what I love, and I just have this really big passion for the martial arts in general. And then I happen to be one of the few lucky people who's good at it and has the opportunity to compete in it and get paid for it.
Entonces, la pregunta fue que en adición al level competitivo que incrementa de cualquier liga hasta el UFC, cómo su vida ha cambiado tanto deportivamente como personalmente. Él nos responde que deportivamente él siempre está en actitud de aprender, que hay muchas cosas que él aún no sabe y que está más enfocado más que nunca ahora por el hecho de que está en un nivel competitivo muy alto y que él entiende que solamente está en la punta del iceberg y está siempre dispuesto a aprender, como ya dije anteriormente. En cuanto a lo personal, él dice que puede dedicarle más tiempo a su familia por el hecho de que antes trabajaba 3 trabajos y ahora solo depende de uno, que es el de la UFC. Así que personalmente sigue siendo la misma persona, más enfocada, y hizo énfasis de nuevo en que en vez de trabajar 3 trabajos, ahora solamente trabaja uno, que es peleador de la UFC. So moving forward, so Porter, you managed to make your UFC debut with an unwanted result. How do you manage to recover from this type of setback?
Um, I mean, it wasn't my first loss ever. You know, I've lost before to some big names as well. But I was looking at it more. I kind of went into that fight just getting my foot in the door was my goal at that point at the UFC. I hadn't been training. We were in the middle of the the height of the quarantine period for the pandemic, and I had a 3-week-old baby when I got the call. The gyms around here still weren't really open. I was only training like once or twice a week, and I was about 25 pounds overweight. And it was, the UFC comes knocking. You don't say, maybe later. You step up and go. And my whole thought process was, I'm probably going to lose this fight, but I'm just going to go in there and do the best that I can. And then the next fight, when I have a full camp, I'll show them exactly why they should have signed me so many years ago.
Bueno, él nos dice que la pregunta fue que cómo él hizo para estar al UFC y que en su debut no tuvo un resultado deseado por el hecho de que perdió. Él de esta manera nos responde de que él se lo esperaba de cierta forma por el hecho de que cuando eso estaba en la cuarentena y solamente puede entrenar de 1 a 2 días a la semana, lo cual lo hizo no estar en su mejor condición física y aún teniendo 25 libras de más. Lo cual no le sorprendió, ya que ya no era la primera vez que él perdía, sino que ya había tenido cierta experiencia con este tipo de situaciones, pero luego de que tuviera un campamento entero, o sea, un campamento como era debido, él ya le iba a dar razones a nosotros, el público, de por qué la UFC lo había llamado. Entonces, en este caso, seguimos con la siguiente pregunta. So, moving to the next question. Talking about that, you're currently on a 2-win streak in a row, where you have seen good performances from you. What do you understand that it was the key to seeing a different Parker Porter and dominating in his fights?
I'm sorry. What could you say that one more time?
Sure. So we're able to see here that you have two wins in a row, right?
Yep.
So we know that we have seen good performances from those fights. What do you understand that it was the key for seeing you fighting differently?
I think just having a full camp behind me and being able to solely focus on my training. Like I said, I used to work 2 and 3 jobs while balancing, kids from my first marriage, taking care of them, as well as now having a child from my current marriage with my wife. I was super focused. I had really great support group around me, my coaches, Kia Galampour, Ed Thornton, my training partners, Dan Frazic. Everything just kind of fell into place, and all these people that I have surrounding me want my success just as bad as I want my success, maybe even more. So I think that was really the biggest key to getting this ball rolling and putting myself in a better path.
Volvemos con la pregunta. Fue que vimos que él tiene una racha de 2 peleas ganadas ya y hemos visto muy buenos performances, de hecho. Entonces la pregunta es, ¿cuál es la clave o cuál fue la clave para nosotros ver un Porter diferente? Él nos dice que, como respondió en la pregunta pasada, tuvo un full camp, un campamento totalmente dispuesto a ayudarlo, de las personas que, así como él quería el éxito, así ellos también lo querían para él. Él entiende que todo eso fue el campamento entero que él hizo y también el apoyo de las personas que lo ayudaron. Sin contar en preguntas anteriores que ya habían mencionado que está más enfocado en comparación con antes, porque ya tenía que hacer espacio entre los 3 trabajos más entrenar. Ahora, como solamente puede enfocarse en entrenar, le sale más factible tener un full camp y en este caso estar mejor preparado. So, moving to the next question. we see here that in those last two fights, you were a clear underdog, but you surprised everyone with those performances. How does being classified as an underdog mentally works on you?
It doesn't really change anything for me. I think if anything, it helps a little bit. It kind of, my whole life I've always thrived off of proving people wrong, and it's just that little bit of extra motivation in the gym to kind of shut everybody up and make them see like, no, you're wrong about me. Like I got this. I got this real good.
La pregunta fue que en esas dos últimas peleas él claramente no era el favorito y cómo eso le afecta mentalmente en cuanto a las peleas. Él dice que simplemente en parte eso hasta le ayuda por el hecho de que él le gusta demostrar a las personas que él sí es capaz de hacerlo. Así que si de alguna manera le afecta mentalmente es totalmente positivo. So moving to the next question. So about your fight with Sherman. Did you have the courage to trade with someone with a lot of KO power? Was this the initial plan or did you just float?
I kind of just floated. The initial plan was to try and take him to the ground where I knew that I was going to be better than him. I've been working on my wrestling a lot and trying to implement better takedown offense. But I've always just felt really comfortable with my striking ability, and that's something that's always been a strong point for me. And after getting caught a couple of times, I didn't genuinely feel like I couldn't hang. So I decided to play his game as best I could, and I feel like I played it a little better than he did, while still trying to take advantage of threatening the ground game and working my best to keep myself moving and keeping that forward pressure and just pouring on the strikes and lots of volume.
Entonces la pregunta es que en su pelea con Sherman, vemos que él tuvo el coraje de intercambiar con una persona que tiene un poder de KO muy respetable. Entonces le preguntamos si ese fue el plan desde el principio o si las cosas simplemente fluyeron. Sorprendentemente responde que las cosas simplemente fluyeron porque el plan principal era llevarlo al suelo, porque él entiende que su fuerte es el grappling en comparación con el de Sherman. Pero las cosas simplemente fluyeron ya que era en algo que él ya de por sí tenía confianza, no solamente en su lucha, sino también en su striking. So, yeah, we have here the last question, Porter. So, in this year of heavyweight division, has had many movements from fighters to exit to new champions. What fighter do you want to face? I mean, what do you understand that someone that can catapult you to the top 15 of the division?
I really don't know, man. I don't know who. I don't have anybody that I would like to call out. I just, whoever they want me to fight next, I get ready for that and I go. I don't really try to pick this one or pick that one or what I think is going to be best for me. I'm just looking forward to the next fight and trying to put on the best show I can and obviously bring home another win.
La última pregunta fue que en la última, en el heavyweight division, lo que es la división pesada, que ya hay muchos peleadores que como van entrando, van saliendo a nuevos campeones. Entonces, le preguntamos qué persona específicamente podría catapultar o lo que sería al top 15, a quién le gustaría llamar para una pelea. Y ahora mismo dice que no tiene a nadie en mente, simplemente a quien sea que le pongan al frente, él simplemente va a dar mejor performance que él pueda dar, ya que está en su mejor condición física. Y sí, no tiene ahora mismo absolutamente nadie en mente. So, Porter, again, it was an honor to have you here. I don't know if, I just hope that hope to see you again soon. And if for maybe by any chance you decide to visit Dominican Republic, you're more than welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Hope you have a good one, and thank you again, everyone.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Es la reina Beats.